My wife told me I'm not her daughter's dad, so I stopped doing all the dad stuff. I've been in Sally's life since she was 5. I taught her to ride a bike in our driveway, jogging beside her for 3 weekends until she stopped wobbling. I went to every parent-teacher meeting for 12 years while her dad lived overseas and sent a quick birthday text if we were lucky. I paid $4,000 for her braces and drove her to orthodontist visits every month for 2 years. When she got sick, I was the one bringing water and checking on her at night. When her first boyfriend dumped her, she called me sobbing, and I took her for ice cream and listened until the cup melted. Last month, she started begging for an iPhone 15 non-stop. Every day it was, everyone has one, and I need it for school, even though her phone worked fine. I told her, if you bring your grades up and get at least 2 A's by the next report, I'll buy it. I made her repeat it back to me. She promised she'd study harder and acted excited for once. For the first week, she tried. She sat at the table and asked me a few math questions. Then it started slipping. I'd walk by and catch her watching videos instead of doing work. If I said something, she'd say, I'm taking a break, and shut her notebook. Her math teacher emailed that she was missing assignments and failing quizzes. I asked to see her grade portal, and she said, later, like I was annoying her. When I offered to help her make up the missing work that weekend, she snapped, stop hovering, and walked away. 2 weeks ago, the report came back, and it was worse than I expected. She failed math completely and didn't get a single grade above a C in anything else. I didn't yell. I sat her down at the kitchen table, slid the report toward her, and said, no iPhone, not yet. I told her, retake math, show real improvement by finals, and we'll talk. I said this wasn't a punishment. It was us keeping our deal. I even said I'd drive her to extra help after school if she wanted. She exploded anyway. She screamed I was ruining her life, slammed her door, and stomped around the house. My wife backed me up at first and told her rules are rules. Then, Sally locked herself in her room and called her dad overseas, crying about how unfair we were and how she needed that phone. 2 hours later, he called me. I explained the deal and the grades. He cut me off, yelled that I was too strict, and hung up mid-sentence. Right after, my wife's phone buzzed, and she went upstairs to talk privately. I thought that was it. 2 days later, Sally bounced into the kitchen grinning and said, Dad ordered the iPhone. It'll be here in 2 weeks. My stomach dropped. I went to our bedroom and asked my wife what happened to our agreement. She wouldn't look at me and said her dad wanted to buy it, and they decided to let him. I said, why would you allow that after what we told her? She turned to me, cold as ice, and said, stop interfering with Sally's business. You're not her father. I just stared at her. I waited for her to take it back, but she didn't. It felt like the air got sucked out of the room. I stood there thinking about sick nights, homework battles, and all the times I showed up when her dad didn't. I took a slow breath and said, you're right. I'm not her father, so I'm done. My wife blinked like she didn't understand. I said, Sally's almost 18. She has a father, so he can handle everything from now on. That Saturday, she came downstairs in her cleats and asked me to drive her to soccer practice like I always do. I said, ask your father. She stared like she misheard me. The one who bought you the phone, I said, and went back to my coffee. Sunday night, she knocked on my office door with her history book. Can you help me? She asked. I said, your father can help you with that. On Monday, a parent-teacher conference reminder hit my email. I forwarded it to my wife and wrote, Sally's father should attend. Sally asked me to pick her up from a friend's house. I told her to call an Uber or call her dad. My wife pulled me aside that night and said, what are you doing? I said, exactly what you told me. I'm not her father, so I'm not doing father things. Thursday, the phone arrived. Sally stuck to it like glue, scrolling at the table, posting in bed, and staying up past midnight. Her grades kept sliding, and her dad didn't call once after sending it. Then yesterday, she walked up to me bright and excited and said, can you take me to the DMV next month for my learner's permit? We've been planning it forever. I kept my voice even